their work. That's
Oh,
where
there.
it's the end. This one and that one. And actually, oh, I do too. Yeah, I do too. It's actually really, really interesting. It's all. She's an illustrator. Really, so she doesn't teach computers. And like through which is working. And when she works for that modern, what's it called? You know, the Orville Modern Storytown. You know, they're on a bridge around Bay Street. They handle all modern designs. So they have a shop and she sells. But yeah, no, she's trained at she's a training star. She did this program. She's really interesting. And she does really interesting work. Yeah. Yeah. This is another Re-ify. And then there's this is Marie Darkness. She's a color. And she has a little press. Sure. Press. Gallery. Where they they're in town somewhere. I don't think they have. So the little place where she goes from, and then she's doing some prints or she's doing art. She does things with lead and sorts of it's one of the interesting things. The other one is graphite. All her work is graphite. That's hers, there, yeah. And this is how I use it too, yeah. Yeah, these guys are. No, I want to wax that. Okay, I was going to go to the when I was first interested, that's what I should have done. Yeah. Is this the greatest thing? It's different. It's just a. Well, I can now.
Hi, I'm Louise Oborn. I'm part of a group called Collaborate. There are 7 artists in this show, and the name of the show is Re-ify. We came up with this word that, or we were looking for a word that we could all work from. And we came up with this word because it's one of its meanings is to think about an abstract concept or term in a concrete way. And because that's what artists are doing all the time, we're taking these abstract terms and we're making these concrete works, either paintings or sculpture or prints. That's where the original concept came from. So that's the show in a nutshell. And my word is remodify, and it reflects the way that I approach my work and also is a play off Re-ify. So we were looking for words that would sort of plug into the original meaning of Re-ify. I spent some time in Venice, and one of the things that I was struck by, because it resonates with me, is how time and the effects of the elements affect buildings and sculptures and other structures, and what we do to try to remediate that. So this work is largely about trying to find ways to let the process happen, sort of the process that happens during time, and then working with the work to selectively intervene and to have an intervention. So there's process here, but there's also intervention in how the shape is formed, what's left behind, what's put on, what's taken away. And that's basically what I do in my work, is that investigation of process.
Efren, nice to see you again. Tanta here. And this is part of the Re-ify show. And we each chose a word to be reified that had to do with our work. And this piece here is called Re-transmogrify, shape, because I'm always working with shapes and changing them magically. And that's what the real word transmogrify means. I always work with negative and positive shapes, and for the last few years they seem to be floating in space. Each of the 7 artists in the Collaborate group has chosen a word that works, that has been reified. And it's really interesting because all the paintings are 36 by 36. So even though our work is really different, there's this beautiful continuity as it goes around the room. And it's been a really excellent show. And the room itself shows beautifully to contemporary art, which is living very well in Victoria.
My name is Jan Henry. My word for this show is re-sanctify. My work is all about books, and has been for the last year. Basically, I'm very interested in books, and books in their traditional form, the beauty of books on the bookshelf. I think books, as we know them on the bookshelf, are beautiful, but they're disappearing. They're being replaced by e-books, and I'm very sad about that. So I chose the word re-sanctify, and what I'm hoping to do with this body of work, this is the first 2 of, I hope, a whole series of works, is to take a discarded book. One of the parameters, it must be a discarded book, take it apart, deconstruct it, and then attach it page by page to a cedar plank to make it into a totem. So the process involves gluing the pages to the totem, to the piece of cedar, sanding it back, reducing the page, removing the text so it's not legible, applying more pages until the entire book, and it has to be the entire book, the whole book has to be used, is attached to the cedar plank. And then I sort of put a protective coat of it was a mixture of wax and shoe polish to it, just to give it a little sheen and to give it a sort of patina, make it look slightly old and slightly sort of worth worshipping. And I'm hoping that in doing this, I can take these discarded books that nobody wants, and turn them into something that somebody would really like to have, and to sort of, well, not to worship, but to cherish. So this is hopefully the beginning of a big series of book totems. Thanks very much.
Hi, Efren. I'm Helen Mason. I'm part of the Collaborate group here at the Community Arts Council. And my word for this show was re-solidify. And it's about the materials I use, which are often in solid form, and I liquefy them and then they re-solidify. So I use beeswax, I use plaster of Paris, and other materials. And during the time while that process unfolds, I'm afforded a long view of reality. So, it gives me pause. It also gives me gifts. I hardly ever know what's going to happen. I'm often the most surprised person in the room, and then I get to interpret. So, the work arrives first, then the intellect. So, I don't know, re-solidify it was a natural choice for the way I work, and I'm really happy to be part of this show. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Farras, and I'm part of the Collaborate group as well. And my word was re-amplify. I'm interested in painting sound, and I start by listening carefully to something, be it the marina on a windy day, or whale songs, or something at evensong. And I give each of the sounds a color, and then I try to tease out of those sounds the colors that resonate the most, those which are the loudest, those which are the softest, the kind of bass line, etc. And from that, a painting is built. The sound paintings are interesting to do because they're about layering color as opposed to putting it on too thickly at once. So I have to build it up. And the giving of shape is what constitutes the whole. So the nature of painting sound means you kind of have to jump off a diving board and then try to grasp some kind of concrete things to give yourself footholds as you go down. So that's what I'm interested in doing with these 5 paintings.